I like to greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter if you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you the toughest to the weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you light-skinned or dark-skinned. It doesn't matter whether you are family, friends, or those who proclaim to be my enemies. I greet all of you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Tonight happened to be Saturday, September the 14th, 2019, the time being about 10:14 p.m. Tonight, what I want to talk about is change or the same. In other words, some people like me won't change. Some people like my proclaimed enemies, those who the shoe fit wear in Charleston, Missouri, and a few other places that used to live in Charleston, Missouri, but live other places that they proclaim to be my enemies. They want things to be the same. Me wanting change is my prerogative and my right. And I can't get change by being silenced. My proclaimed enemies, wherever they may be, whoever they may be, it's their prerogative whether they want things to remain the same. You see, Nelson Mandela, may rest in peace, in South Africa, him and a lot of other people was fed up with apartheid. They wanted change. But the government that was running apartheid, they wanted things to stay the same. And they threatened Nelson Mandela and killed many of people, black and white, that was trying to get a change. But you see, Nelson Mandela was given an option to stay silent, talking about change and ending apartheid, racism, hatred, misusing blacks, taking blacks' land, taking blacks' homes. Or, if he didn't want to stay silent, then he would go to jail, prison. He took prison. They went year after year for 27 years. But people around the globe got to hearing his voice. Not only hearing it, they got to protesting and demanding his freedom and demanding change. He got out of prison. Some people couldn't understand why he didn't stay married to his then wife when he went to prison, Wendy Mandela. You see, something wasn't right when he got out. If it was right, he would have stayed with Wendy Mandela. But Nelson Mandela was for change. He wasn't finna be intimidated by the racist South Africa government. He wasn't gonna be manipulated by the blacks that was frightened by the South Africa racist government. Nor was he gonna be paid off. What's going on now? Nor was he gonna be paid off. So he continued his stance that he had when he went in. When he got out, it was changed. It took decades, almost a half of a century, but he got changed. You know why? Because he was consistent. He didn't sell out. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't intimidated. He wasn't afraid of death, and he wasn't afraid of their jails. But people around the globe stood with him. He became the president. Those whites that took, those racist whites that took the land and homes of those blacks that worked hard for it, they had to get out of them. That's change. You see, when I went up against black gold farms here in, potato farms here in Charleston, Missouri, I wanted change because they was used to calling blacks the N-words. I don't have to not be from Charleston, Missouri, whether I was from Charleston, Missouri or any place else. Wasn't nobody finna call me the N-word and get away with it, especially on a job. I stood on them. I wanted change. But there was an individual, a black individual that been with him so long, he didn't want to change. He wanted it to be the same. He talked about what he was going to do to me, but to others. He conspired with the law enforcement officials here in Charleston, Missouri. But he never approached me because he knew what the consequences going to be. He was afraid to die. I wasn't. He didn't want no change because he was content of washing on somebody's shoes. You see what I'm saying? James Brown said, some people said we got a lot of manners. Some said we got a lot of nerves. He said we won't get moving until we get what we deserve. We tired of working on our knees and our hands, and all the work we doing is for the other man. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Some people, when they were dancing, say it loud. Boom, boom, boom. I'm black and I'm proud. That's all they heard. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. But he had lyrics in there that I just told you. Some people said we got a lot of manners. Some said we got a lot of nerves. We won't get moving until we get what we deserve. We tired of working on our knees and our hands, and all the work we doing is for the other man. Some people would say that's prejudice. But James Brown wasn't saying it on a prejudice level, even though it was prejudice going on. He was just saying. And then he told you another thing. He said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing. That's the same with me. I open up the door and get it myself. But you know, when you ain't standing on the laws that you made with the Constitution, even though they crooked, then you ain't legit. But let me show you something else, y'all, on change. This group here is called the NAACP. Now, this particular chapter here is the Charleston, Missouri branch. It says number 4083. They having something that they said a first annual Freedom Fund dinner at the C.F. Bowen Center here in Charleston, Missouri. 700 Cy Williams Street or Avenue. It's also called the Lincoln School, where the only place that blacks could go to school until 1961, when they had to file a federal lawsuit to be able to go to the Charleston Consolidated School number 7, which is the Charleston R1 school district today. That was in 1961. But anyway, what I want to show you is the NAACP was formed. It's the name, the letters stand for something. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Now, I've been down here 23 years in some months. I done seen a couple of presidents. One of them from I come down in 1996, May the 3rd. And one president was the president from 1995 to October of 2018. 23 years. Now it's another one that's in. Now, if they for the National Advancement of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, they should be about change, not the same. It's been the same. You got one black police on the police force here in Charleston, Missouri. One. To my knowledge, you don't have no black sheriff deputies. If they are, I ain't seen none on the street. Last night I seen the captain come by with a black guy in there with him. I don't know if he was the feds or was he a black deputy or not here in Mississippi County. You don't have no black judges. The whole courtroom is made up of all white people. City Hall, all white people run it. You see what I'm saying? But let me show you this here. If you for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, it's been 2 decades that I've been down here in 3 years. When they gonna advance? The only thing they advance on is this government grant money that they get to act like they taking care of our children, act like they feeding our children, they ain't paying a dime for it. Government grant money paying for it. Hire the same people. And when them government grant, when that food program is out, they try to find another thing to get them people, them kids, numbers and names and social security numbers so they can keep on. But I want y'all, when you go to this thing here, it's, let me see what the date it is. It's the 28th of September. When you go to this here, I want y'all to ask the present president now this question here. I want you to ask him, would he take a polygraph test to say whether or not a female that was attended in one of his properties here in Charleston, Missouri, on the west side, not too far from my house, cousin of his, with children now, wouldn't fix the house up, snakes coming in the house, water coming in the house, holes in the roof, wires hanging all around the hot water heater, and she complained about it. I seen the pictures and the videos of it. I didn't put them on my YouTube video because she would have had to do it. But ask him, would he take a polygraph test to say when she complained to him just recently in the last month that he called her a B, the B word. Ask this same present president of the NAACP here in Charleston, Missouri, I guess it's branch 4028, have he been buying the food stamps of these poor black people on the west side of this town? From some of these mothers that only reason he went to their house is to try to get food stamps from them, buy their food stamps, all this money you getting from this grant, why do you want their food stamps? 2 of them I know personally, you couldn't have been concerned about them because both of them kids is taken away from them. One of them may even have a mental problem. Both of them might have mental problems. But y'all don't try to help them when they get arrested and go to this courthouse. I sit in there. I want y'all to ask him another thing. Would he take a polygraph test to say that he hasn't been paying people to sign papers to say they done took kids bowling in other places and ain't took them no place, gave them a check to go cash at McLean's food market here or Town and Country food market here in Charleston, Missouri, and then they had to come back and give him some of the money? I'll pay for the polygraph test because I know it's true. Ask him why some of my homeboys was going off to work in other states and their children were playing basketball or some type of sports with him, and he tried to hit on 1 or 2 of their females, rubbing on her hand, telling her she looked like Beyonce. I ain't gonna say no names, but I bet you he'll fell it. You see what I'm saying? My 2 daughters' mothers set him out. But you know these people like Susanna Wesley, the preachers here, and all these other people, they support him. But y'all can keep supporting them, but I'm about change. And to you, James Jarrett, you said, why do I always want to see a black man locked up? I don't want to always see a black man locked up, but if a black man blew your mother's brains out, would you want him locked up or would you want him on the streets? Now you think about that. The reason why I said that, all the stuff these people done did to my daughters, You don't think they should be locked up. I think they should be locked up or killed. Peace be still.